Good morning, Floss Tube. It's Lynette here from cloudy Brisbane today in Australia. I'm Hexagon Stitches, and I'm just trying to get a video in before other things keep happening. So last time I tried to film, I was sick and I didn't have any voice. And then, of course, the big thing in our lives has been my daughter's wedding, and I have a little photo for you. This is my favourite photo from the wedding. That's my daughter, and her now husband surprised her with a pink suit because pink is her favourite colour, and she didn't know. And then that's all my grandchildren, and this little fellow here is my great nephew. And I just love this photo. It's my favourite. So that's just a little thing from the wedding. It was a lovely day, and the weather here did the right thing. It wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. My poor sister, who flew up from down south, flew up on the Friday, and it was really, really hot considering it's supposed to be winter here, and she wasn't quite prepared for how hot it was going to be. And at least it settled down for the wedding. So that was the big thing. Okay, I've been dancing around a lot of bits and pieces. I've been really enjoying my cross stitch amongst other stuff, so we'll just go for it. So I'm going to start with new starts, which I have a few of. I am enjoying Barbara Anna, and I've got some finishes in a minute, but to start with, I started the Hoot one, and I also bought the third one, I think. So I have this thing sometimes where I like to have lots of projects on one piece of fabric, which came about accidentally with another piece of fabric that I just started stuff on, and it's sort of a bit of a thing. But anyway, here is my start. This is 36 count Baby Ice Blue, Ice Baby Edinburgh Linen from Colour Cascade Fabrics. So nearly all the details should be listed below with links to the fabric and things like that. So if you need anything, it should be down in the description. Just bear in mind the video posts, and then I have to get the description up, so sometimes there's a little bit of a delay. Anyway, that's my lovely start on that. And this is on this piece of fabric that I started Icon Trees on by Long Dog. So that's that one. And I've got another piece on there that I'll show you in a minute. So I'm enjoying that piece of fabric with all the bits and things. Okay, next new start. Ended up on a different piece of fabric because I think I told you last time I bought a piece of fabric from Colour Cascade Fabrics that the colours changed, and I wanted to find something on it, and I waited for the next new Long Dog, and it was too big, so I started anyway on a different piece of fabric. So this was the Mare's Nest. I just loved all the creatures and things in it, and I like the fact that the top started with a scene and not just a border. So I started this, and I've started it on it's 36 count Zweigart Raw, and I'm using a Silks For You skein hank, which I haven't written down the number. I'll try and include it in the description. I'll try and add that. But he's been fun, and I'm just enjoying that as I go along. And people keep showing Long Dogs, and Julia keeps coming out with new designs, and then I go, oh. So that's that new start. Then I think I can't remember what I told you last time, but I know I finished this bag with the Heartstring Samplery, His Eyes on the Sparrow, because I said I was never going to finish it, and I wasn't going to start the new one, famous last words, because I did, because I love the new one. I love all the animals. And on next Thursday, I am flying to Hobart, and I'll get to meet Beth Twist. She's down there at the moment. They've got 2 weekends going with her, so I'm at weekend 2. So I thought, well, I have to do some on this before I go. So I've started this on 36 count, which is my latest favourite fabric, Country Cottage, Country Mocha, and I've just done a little bit in the corner, and I had to do the seagull. So my plan is to work on that more this week, and have a nice little chunk before I get down there. So apart from one other thing, which I'll show you later, that's my new starts. So then I'm going to go to finishes. Now, I don't have the cushion that I made for the ring pillow, and I thought I had a picture of Maverick, who was my great nephew, who was the ring bearer. I'm not sure who took it. Maybe I thought I took it. I can't find it, so I have to find out. So I'm sorry, I don't have a finished picture of that, but it came out really well. I was very happy with that. So that was Wedding Wreath by Modern X Stitch. Other finishes was were Season's Dreams by Barbara Anna. This is the spring one. So I'll probably make this into a project bag, I think. This is a 20 count Ada. I really enjoyed doing that one. And then Jenny and I were doing the Tiny Modernist garden party sale, and we've both finished it. And here's mine. This was on a lilac 18 count Aber from Fabric Flair. I'm thinking of making this into a little wall hanging, because I've already got another little wall hanging with gnomes and mushrooms on it, and I'm thinking of putting them together. So that's my thought. That's why it doesn't need a lot of border for me to add all that. And I've still got more of that fabric for something else, which I love having more of that fabric for something else. What have I done here? I'm missing one. Oh, it's on here. That's why. It's on the Ice Ice Baby. Last week, Julian Jones published a freebie on her Facebook page, and I just decided I wanted to stitch it. So I did. So there it is. It says, yes, you can. And it was a really fun stitch. I was thinking of making it into a small for my gift exchange, but I've changed my mind. It is very small. You can see how it's very small. So that's on this bit of fabric that's got all the different things on it. So that was start and finish. I think I started one day and finished it the next. Anyway, that was fun. That made me want to go back and look on her website and find other little quick freebies to finish, but not right at the moment. So I go to Coco X Stitch, as most of you know, here in Brisbane, and the link to that shop is on my notes. And one of the ladies there's been doing Primrose Cottage, the long B one, and I just thought, I haven't done a long Primrose Cottage, so I bought this one that Denise had. And then I thought, well, this one here says there are never too many whips, and I thought, well, that'd be good for a little exchange gift. So I've changed the colours, and I've started it on a little bit of saltbush I had left over. So I think I'm going to turn it into a little project pouch and put some goodies in it, and I need to get my skates on, probably work on that this afternoon, so I'm organised. That's 40 count saltbush. And talking about saltbush, the new saltbush that came out, which I've got here somewhere because I wanted to show you. Oh, here it is. It's come out green. So this is the old saltbush, and then the new stuff that Denise got 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's come out green, and it's doing weird things on my lining, which I love. It's just you've got to be careful that you don't get caught with the wrong colour, because I'm going to use that for something else, obviously. These are the colours. Am I going to be able to do this? These are the colours I've changed to. These are my colours. These sort of colours are lovely. And this bit of white fabric is, I really enjoyed. This is what I stitched the ring cushion on. It was the 22 count Murano Antique White by Zweigart. Really liked stitching on it, so I bought that to do this whole piece on. That's all sitting there. So I think that's all my finishes, just checking my notes here. Yep, okay. So then I thought I'd go to whips this morning. So these are, I'm just gonna pull my pile over and hope I don't knock it everywhere. Right. I think I've done a little bit more on this than last time. I can't really quite remember. Just hold up. So I'm just pulling a chair over so I've got somewhere else to put stuff. Maybe I haven't, but I was really loving this until I got distracted with all the other things, and now I've got the red thread. I can start adding some red, and I think that'll kickstart that to get back going with the red into it. Another one I've been bumbling along with was Thread the Needle. Vani's, she did a stitch along last Advent, and Stitching Mummy's working on this as well, and every time she shows a video I think I should get mine out. So I've done little bits of more of the fill in. I've finished all the black, so it's just a matter of filling in. And my border is off. I think I must have said this last time, so I'm going to probably have to cut that border out because it's off. I'll see how obvious it is when I finish it. Goodness knows how I got that border off, I don't know. But these things happen. So that's that one. Then my friend Jenny and I have been doing animal crackers. She's speeding along. I think she's done 3. She's fully finished 2. I've only finished stitching the 1, and I'm working on Clovis. And it's on this raggedy bit of fabric because I'm going to use the other bits for these other, things that come with it. So I just left it all in one raggedy piece. But she's coming along. She's very nice to stitch on. Her face is gorgeous. And there are so many people doing lovely animal crackers at the moment, and I really want some of those. The puffin that's come out at a retreat somewhere, I'm really hoping that eventually turns up because I really like that puffin. When I was a kid, I've still got the book. It's about a kid's book about Peter the Puffin. And if I ever get to do the animal cracker, I'll have to pull it out and show you. I just want to work on more plum streets, but I'm just doing some bits and pieces. I really haven't got to them much. So I started the basket because the lady at Cross Stitch was working on a plum street, and I decided, well, I'll bring my plum street and we're working on together, and she didn't actually turn up that day. Anyway, I've started on the basket, and we'll just keep plodding along with that one. Then on the wedding theme, which I decided, I don't think my daughter would really, what have I done? Oh, I've lost Clovis threads, hold on. Put them back in there. I've been working on this one for years. I've shown it to you before, and it was on, I think it was on the June Magazine Monthly Challenge thing last month, but I haven't worried too much about finishing it but I would like to finish it just to have a finish. So this hasn't made any of my kids' weddings so far, and they're all married now. So I don't know. It might end up being a granddaughter's wedding present, maybe. Anyway, we'll see. At least I've finished all the confetti. All this blended and confetti, that's all done. So, it should move on quicker now and be fun, like the boots and their dresses. No, I've got their dresses. No, I haven't got this one yet. So that's from an old Cross Stitch magazine. It'll be listed below. June 2008 was the Cross Stitch magazine. Okay, some of my categories have overlapped, so we'll just move on. Okay, cells. So I've been doing, 2 cells really at the end, mystery cells. Snail's Hollow. I'm 2 parts behind, but that's where it's come in. So it's got another purple mushroom and another tree stumpy thing in here. And the parts aren't too big, so if you get behind, it's not too much to catch up. But with everything going, and I wanted to keep up to date with the Lola Crow cell, which I'll show you in a tick. So that one's just dropped back for a minute, but I still want to finish it. That's on a 20 count Ada of some sort. Then the Lola Crow, the big Lola Crow. I ummed and ahed about starting it. I bought it, and I still ummed and ahed about starting it. So when I started the border, I started it behind. So the border still isn't quite complete, but this last week I worked on it, and I've managed to pretty much do all the exhibits, and I've just got a bit of catching up to do on the border. So here is this magnificent piece. I'm really enjoying it. So there's another arch that's got to come in here, and I've been working up here finishing this bit of the frame. There's a bit more of this velvet rope thing, you know, to keep people in line. That, can't remember what it's called. And there's some dinosaur eggs down here, and apparently this is called the devil frog. I like it. His name is Beelzebub Buffalo or something. Eats dinosaur eggs, so there's some dinosaur eggs down here I haven't put in yet, but there's going to be something else connected with the eggs, I believe. Her instructions are very good. Like, she tells you when you do this, she says don't backstitch it yet, even though she's given you the instructions, because something else is going to sit behind it. So she gives you little tips like that, as long as you read them. If you don't read them, it's your fault, not hers. So I've actually really enjoyed that, and that's on a 20 count Atomic Ranch fog, London fog, which is a very soft Ada and has been very nice to work on. And I'm working mine with 1 thread, which means a lot of her back stitches, some of it will be 2 strands, and one of it will be 1, mine's just all 1, and I'm more than happy with that. So that's the 2, those sort of cells, mystery cells. So I will move on to Magazine Monthly Challenge. I wrote a thing for July, but I gave up on it. It was just too much I was trying to do. But I've just done my August one, so I'm going to go through my plans for the August one, and we'll see how we go. So the theme is collaboration. So randomly I had pulled out, I thought, why is this? I've got a section where I put empty project bags, and this was in it, and I'm thinking, why is that in it? Because this is my Fox and Rabbit bag, and I'm not doing this year's, but I still want to finish the one from 2024. And you can see I've started bits as the pieces have come out. Now down here, in this bit down, in this big gap here, is the word love in another frame. And Denise has finished hers, and I remember because love was the last piece that came out. And I remember she was finishing it last year, and she said it was huge. And I looked at the chart and I thought it is huge. So I have recharted my love so it's not as big, and this here is the start. So I need to stitch my love one in and then work the motifs around it, because mine won't be as big as the original, because it was huge, and I just figured I like it, but I just didn't keep up with it. Anyway, one of the other ladies, Ro from Ro's Crafty Corner, she said she's going to work on this in August. So I decided, well, that's a good enough reason, and for whatever random reason I happened to pull it out yesterday morning, and then she said, well, she's going to work on it in August. I thought, well, I'll pull this out for August as well, and we'll see where we go with that. So, and that'll be my collaboration piece because we're sort of collaborating as we're stitching it together, and it was a cell. So that's the theme. So then the acrostic for August, and I've left a piece behind. Oh, sorry, Carolyn. It's one of my full coverages. The theme, the acrostic is forest. So this is my sort of plans for that. So I've got, start again, lady. Let me have a sip here. F I'm going to use for the blue flower. Now I've got Pigeon in a Puddle, which I'd like to finish, but I've also got a couple of others. And the one that came out at the latest Lindy Stitches online event is something about the moon being a bowl of magic. And I like that, and I'm tempted to start that one. So F will be for something from the blue flower. The O will be for Owl, which is the Barbara Anna one I showed you earlier. I'd like to work on that and get that one finished. R is for Randall Spangler. Now I have a it's a Computer Catastrophe, I think I've started, but they had a sale, and I shouldn't go anywhere near the sales because I'm never going to finish these things in my lifetime. But last time they had a sale, my granddaughter was down here when it popped up, and she and I were looking, and she really likes this one. So I bought it in the sale. Now it's huge. I've also owned, I bought the Travelling Library. Oh, why am I blanking on her name? You all know her. She does all the bookshelves and stuff. Anyway, I bought that a while back because when it first came out I just loved it. And look, these are the same size. That Travelling Library, which I haven't started, and this are the same size. But I think I might start this. And I showed them at stitching yesterday, and they're going, go for it. Because I said, this here, this bit here, because they're all saying, oh, look, all the cute creatures. But see this section here? That's the first page. It's just all those leaves. And they're going, oh, but it'll be fun because it's got all these little loopy things and stuff. So, and I have a piece of fabric. And that's when I was having second thoughts when I pulled the fabric out. I think this is huge, but that'll probably be started for the R for Randall Spangler. So watch this space. We'll see what happens. E in the forest will be every stitch is the same colour, which will be my Mare's Nest from Long Dog. S is going to be Strawberry Harvest because, you know, Mama Loves GB and others have done strawberries for Wimbledon. Well, we have our, what we call the ECA, which is the Brisbane exhibition. It's our show here. And that happens in August, and we get strawberries and ice cream at that show. So there's a thing about stitching strawberries in August here. And I've had this pattern for ages. And I thought, well, I should start that. And then when that green saltbush came out, I thought, oh, this will be lovely. So I got that yesterday, and there's only two Simply Shaker threads, Antique Rose and Faded Rose. So they're the pinks, and then the rest are DMC. So that's going to be my plan for S, for Strawberry Harvest. And I really want to start it right now, but we won't. And then T will be for thread for the Brenda Gervais with needle and thread. So my August projects will be the 2024 Fox and Rabbit Cell, Something by the Blue Flower, the Owl from Barbara Anna, a Randall Spangler, my Mare's Nest, the Strawberry Harvest, and with needle and thread for Brenda Gervais. So let's see how we go in August. We'll have to, obviously I'll be at Hobart next weekend, which is the beginning of August. And then I will have to also travel to Wodonga to see my dad when I get back sometime from that. So the other game thing which is taken off is our Patchy Pony stitcher, who is from Tassie, has started a game where every 2 weeks she pulls a letter in the alphabet, and you've got to either match it to the name of the project or the name of the designer. And I thought, well, that sounds like fun. So I pulled out, the first letter was P, and I'm thinking, what P? Okay. Nicola Parkman, Hands Across the Sea. She's the designer, P. So I thought, well, I'd like to try and finish some things. So I pulled this out, and I was in this eyelet stitches. So I finished that middle section of eyelet stitches, and I've got to the bottom there on the side. So that's what I did for P. I've worked on that, and I think it's 300 stitches, I think, or 600 stitches. I'll have to double check before I do finish the next, sign off on the next one. But so you can see I've come down here. I've got 2 trees in, yep. So I've done that. So I've still got this bit to go. And it looks like, well, that's not much, but it will take a little bit of stitching. This is all eyelets. And I haven't decided about all the little letters. I'm doing the big ones. So that was what I completed for the P, the first one. And I think I need to write down when these are coming out, because I'm getting really lost when things are turning up, coming out. I have to write it in my diary or something. I have a little notebook that I attempted to write stuff in. I tried Book of Days. I'm terrible with that. So I had this little slim diary, and I was just trying to write down, which was helpful when I did this, but I haven't written anything in it for July, so I don't know why. Anyway, the other new start. The next current letter is Y, and I'm thinking, why? I don't know anything with Y. And then I don't know why this came up, but my granddaughter, I've talked about before, is obsessed with pandas. Well, after the wedding, all the families went to SeaWorld near here and had a wonderful time with all the cousins together and everything. And my middle granddaughter, who's obsessed with pandas, love the fairy penguins, and they stayed overnight. And if you're in Australia, check that out, because apparently staying overnight and getting 2 days entry wasn't that much more than 1 day's entry passes. So that's worth knowing about when they found out that they stayed. Anyway, so she spent an hour and a half one day, an hour and a half the next day with the fairy penguins. And I remembered I had this. This was a freebie from, I don't even know, is there a date on it? 2009 was the copyright. It was a Heaven and Earth freebie. And it's not obviously not a freebie anymore, but you can get, if you put You Make My Heart Melt in, you can get the full chart, which this is a heart, and it's lots of pink and this heart. So you can still get the full chart. But I thought, I've wanted to do this ever since it first came out. She likes penguins, and I need a Y for You Make My Heart Melt. So I decided to start it. So I did. And here I am, up in the top corner there. So you can see these white patches, which are stars. So I think that one there, whoops, is that white star. And then I'm working across, because there's a little bit of bluey purple in the bottom of the heart. You can see that's going to be here. So it's only tiny. I mean, it's a Heaven and Earth. It's 180 by 136. So, you know, it's tiny. Still got 91 colours. But I've been really enjoying that. And I just sort of got back into the full coverage. So that was a new start. That was Y for that. And I've done the number of stitches. So that was that. And when I do Heaven and Earth, I put them in a box. But just starting, it's like just all these pinks. Anyway, I've been enjoying that. And I also pulled out, and I forgot to bring it, because I made a comment in Carolyn's videos that I sort of got into the full coverage. She said, look forward to seeing them, and I've left it over on the other side of the room. I forgot to pull it out. It was the the bath. I think it's by Lisa Parker. It's one of the cats having a bath. And I've put quite a few stitches in that. So hopefully, maybe I'll get some more in before next time. No, I haven't put any of the full coverages on my challenges, but anyway, we'll see. But with that sale, I also did buy another pattern. Years ago, where's it gone? I printed it off. Another Lisa Parker one was mini. It was mini absinthe, the mini one. And now they've got an ornament, and the mini one, you know, it's squared off, and you've got all this brown, which I really like. This texture, this carving in there. But I thought, well, I think I'll get this one. I think I'll enjoy doing it more. But when I worked out the number of stitches, the other one was something like 325 square. And I thought, well, with the corners missing, maybe this one would be less, but it's not. It's more, but I think it's got a bit more, it's more detailed because it's not a mini. It's actually the ornament, not a mini ornament. If you're looking at ornaments, be careful. Some of them are 200 by 200 and they get much more pixelated. This one's 400 by 400, so the detail's really good. So you never know, by next time that might be a start as well, because it was on sale and I thought maybe I'll enjoy doing that more than all that black that you have to do in the corner before you start the other one. So if anyone tells me there's a Heaven and Earth sale, I'm going to go like this, because I don't need any more patterns from Heaven and Earth. I've got lots, and they take so much work. But anyway, it's all fun. I've been enjoying it all. And one more thing before I go. We've been doing a bit of a hexagon thing at Cross Stitch, would you believe? A few hexagoners there. And Mad About Patchwork, which is a Canadian shop, is doing a sale with hexagons. So the first week, you had to make 2 sets of 3, and these are Tilda fabrics for those who like fabrics. And then last week, which we're behind in because we started late, was this one of this size, and then another section that's got 4 of these. So I'll cut them out. So that's all the sort of things you make. I think you make 4 or 5 of these big ones and lots of these, and then it goes around somehow and it becomes a wreath. So a few of us are doing this just for fun as well, and it's interesting to see everyone's fabric. So that's Mad About Patchwork, and they're in Canada. I think you can probably still join. You could either do it as a week by week email, or you could buy the whole pattern, and we just bought the whole pattern because it was more economical and we weren't going to keep up anyway. But it is still fun to see the releases each week and try and keep up. So that's just a little dive back into my hexagons, which I used to be mad about. And I really enjoyed doing that as well. Okay, I think that's it. So I'll be in Hobart this weekend, and then we'll just see where we go from there. I'm really looking forward to meeting Beth Twist, and there's also going to be a kitted up project from Whilst Iris Naps. So it's going to be chilly down there. I won't be in short sleeves like I am here. But that'll be fun. Looking forward to that. Okay, have a great fortnight, month, whenever I see you again. Bye.